Hi, and welcome to another episode. I apologize for nothing. I'm not sorry, and I am ready to host the Academy Awards.
in
5D.
You know, this whole issue has really jumped the shark, though. Have you heard the other big complaint is the song "Baby, It's Cold Outside"?
Oh,
and I
my
haven't
God,
heard
yeah,
what
yeah.
the complaint is. I just know that people are
okay,
upset.
look. I know that one, and I get it because as an ESL person, siempre yo digo eso. When first hearing Christmas songs, I would overanalyze them. Especially because, you know, Christian households and there's these traditions that weren't ours because, you know, Hispanic.
So, since you know the song, can you at least tell me what people are offended of and whether it's legit? Because I will say, although I'm familiar with the song, I fucking hate Christmas music, and I can't think of anything in that song like that.
So let me bring up the lyrics really quick, because
I don't even know the lyrics.
Okay, look. So basically, the general story is, hey, I have to go. I gotta go home. Girl's saying this. And then the guy is just saying, hey, it's cold outside. And she starts saying reasons like, my mother will start to worry. And then the guy says things like, beautiful, what's your hurry? Things like that. Basically.
So it's a very rapey Christmas.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, she keeps saying no, and he is not taking no.
Okay.
And like, there's things like, I simply must go, and but you know, oh, you're very pushy, you know, and I believe there was someone. I like to think of it as opportunistic.
Can I say we should really change the picture that's next to us before we get too far into this? Just
oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's this way on the screen. But just so nobody thinks, like, nobody comes in the middle and goes like, the fuck happened with that game? That's not what we're saying. That's not.
Nope. That already has its own controversy.
Yep. Yeah, that's a different thing.
It does not need another one. No. So basically, they're saying it's a very rapey Christmas.
Yeah, no. Now that you're like, because again, I think the only lyric I knew was "Baby, it's cold outside." Because I fucking hate Christmas music. That sounds
what song is this?
"Baby, It's Cold Outside."
It's a classic Christmas song from like the 40s or 50s. I don't remember the
There's no
lyrics
reason you should know it unless you're one of those like hyper Christmas people.
So, but to be fair though, there's a lot of songs like this from that era that are just like, either nonsensical or like, I'm like, that's weird.
It's like anytime anybody brings up remaking The Honeymooners, it's like, you want to remake a show about a heinously abusive husband? Like, what?
Yeah,
constantly threatening to punch her to the moon, but that was just unfortunately. Not saying it's a good thing or that it's an excuse, but that was the time. Like, that's
to be fair. I'm only bringing this up because another YouTuber brought it up, and it's interesting. The Huffington Post actually took a shot at Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon, not cartoon, but like the claymation movie. Yeah, they're saying that it's racial homophobic and insensitive because everybody's biased against the poor little Rudolph, and basically they said something about Santa Claus being an unaccepting. It's a whole thing. Like they did a whole.
I was thinking about that the other day,
just
randomly. Mind you, but maybe it's because I work in retail and they're playing Christmas music all the goddamn time. But I don't think Santa Claus is that way. I think it's all the reindeer that were homophobic. I think Santa Claus was just off on his own, doing his own shit.
But the thing is,
he works one day a year. The conditions happen to be shit, and was like, oh fuck, I have this reindeer fucking light my way.
Let me counterpoint that shit though. That motherfucker doesn't pay attention and don't give no fucks about Rudolph until that motherfucker comes in handy. That's exploitation.
Do you think he cares about
that's
what they're
that's what they're saying.
He's living life 364 days a year and works the one day a year.
I feel like they miss the whole point. The whole point is, yes, you have these folks who are being dicks, and you know, but when it comes down to it, they all learn to not be dicks, right? that's the whole thing. But anyways,
not to mention, this whole thing predicates on the idea that you relate with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on a deep level. Like, unless you're looking at that movie, putting yourself in Rudolph's shoes, you have no reason to draw that conclusion that it's targeting this one specific motherfucking group. It is about a goddamn magic reindeer. You sit around and watch that movie and go, I'm like a magic reindeer. Fuck you.
Fair, though,
no, you're not.
That's what I feel like about most of the things people got offended about. Like, I always mention it, the Taco Bell dog. I saw and I was like, it's a funny fucking dog, and he's hanging out with Godzilla. That's cool as fuck. And this was even before I started smoking. But people looked at it and went like, oh, that dog? He kind of looked like me, eh? I just like, no.
Well, to be fair, the dog did have, like, it wasn't just the look. He did talk like this. He was a little Speedy Gonzalez. Sorry, he was a little Slowpoke Rodriguez.
A little bit, but again,
he just wants to hang out.
That doesn't represent me because that's how some people actually talk. I grew up with people that talked like that, so it isn't like out of the ordinary, right? It isn't like the what is it? The Breakfast at Tiffany's with that overly racist portrayal. Like that is a caricature of like another race, but. That doesn't offend me. Rudolph doesn't offend me, and just because we didn't actually mention it, the incident I was referencing was the Kevin Hart thing, where folks went back a couple years and looked at his Twitter feed and was like, man, he made some homophobic remarks, and you know what? He several times he's outright said, yep. You know what? I'm 40 years old now. He actually came out and did a response video. It was like, look, I'm 40 years old now, and if you guys don't feel that people can change their minds and be wrong and learn in so many years, then I think this is a problem that you guys are gonna have to deal with. And then he got a call from the Academy saying, well, you need to either give a public apology or you can't host the Oscars. And he was like, thank you very much, I'm not gonna host the Oscars. And here's the deal, I don't even like Kevin Hart, but I respect what he did right there. I really do.
And here's just my like worthless 2 cents on the whole fucking thing. I think context plays a big role in things, and the one thing I tend to give kind of a bigger pass to is mostly comedians, because although a lot of them do make distasteful jokes and bad jokes, sometimes the joke is that they're making a distasteful joke, and sometimes when you're really small and coming up, you try and do something edgy to get noticed. I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying you can't hold somebody against a dumb quote unquote comedy comment. Like a politician coming out and going, it was a joke. Fuck you. Nobody believes you and nobody has a right to believe you. You're a politician. You weren't making a joke. Fuck you.
Yeah.
A comedian making like a really, really extreme statement, usually you can reasonably assume it was probably them making an uninformed kind of dickish joke. And should you call them out and be like, dude, that was a dick joke? Yeah, sure. But once they say, hey, I'm sorry, you're right, it was a dick joke, that's when you gotta go, cool, man, don't fucking do that shit again. Like, you've learned, you had your fucking wrist slapped, and, it's, sure, we're in this time of, like, cultural change, but with change, you kind of have to do some forgiving with it as well and be like, we're all learning not to do that shit. Fucking get on the train or get the fuck off the train.
You know what? I kind of sort of disagree, though, in the sense that, like, we're not going through a cultural change right now. We're going through a cultural sensitivity right now because.
But if that's where the culture wants to go, that's the way it wants to go. Just because it's like that's the shift, though. We're making this shift where a lot of, I'm not going to say everybody. I hate it when everybody says everybody. A lot of people want to see some more sensitivity, which, to be fair, as a whole, is probably a good thing. People could stand to be less dicks than they currently are. I'm for less dickings, but if that's the way people want to go, whether you agree with it or not, that's kind of the way you got to go. Like that, or just deal with being called out. Those are your two options.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Sensitivity. So either you do it, or you deal with being called a dick and what that's worth. That's your two choices.
I honestly think people, yes, people are entitled to be offended about stuff, like because I've always said, offense is not given, offense is taken. You get to make that call when you're offended, and that's okay. It is your right to be offended. Where your right stops is where now people have to change the way that they do things just because you're offended. That's where I draw the line.
That's a fine line. So I mean, over the years, it was socially acceptable to be homophobic and everything, right? I mean, that's just where it was. Even when I was growing up in like the 2000s, after I got into like in my teenage years, right? It was still very much a very prevalent thing, and there was a lot of other issues. There was still racism and everything else. And I went to a mostly minority-driven school. Like I was one of like 4 white kids, so I got really good exposure to like the minorities culture there at that point, right? But not everyone has that. Even as recently as last year, I was working with a group down in Redwood City, and they were one of the most homophobic, transphobic, kind of LGBT against everything group. That didn't stop me from working with them or tell them that I'm bi. You know what I mean? They just kind of like shut their mouth and kind of kept going, right? Because what are you going to do? I'm a giant 6'6" Yeti. I'm going to fucking, I'm going to whomp you, right? And I also had a sense of humor about it because, you know, there's no point not to have a sense of humor. We're all stuck working together.
Well, and I would say the other fine line is you using the phrase, you have to, you don't, just people are going to call you a dick and you have to either learn to brush that fallout off and work against it or, you know.
But that's what I'm saying is like I accepted it for what it was and just kept working because it's not like I was deeply offended by it or not. I was just like, "I'll suck dick. The fuck?" You know, just like kind of just like made it prevalently known. It was not, and we had other LGBT people there. They just kind of like also did the same thing. It was just our work field, right? It's very male, chauvinistic driven work field, working in that field.
Yeah, dude, like I was in the military.
I know it's the same thing.
Also the same thing. And one of our medics, cool dude, but that guy wasn't even hiding it. Like. Straight up, even before they repealed for that short time, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, homie was like, the first time I met him, we made a joke, and he was like, yeah, no, I can deep throat a Polish sausage. And then later on during lunch, he just did it. Right?
Like,
dude, you know how much respect I had for that man? Like, I don't care what he did in his fucking personal time. I was just like, not only is he okay with who he is, he's unapologetic, and he's in an environment where he knows that this kind of thing is joked about a lot. So just fucking he just straight into the wind. And like,
right. But what I'm saying is that people that are in those kind of career fields, people that haven't been in those circles, don't know, kind of thing, right? They may be sensitized or whatever, and there needs to be some change. Like there shouldn't be no change. Right?
I'm not gonna say that things are perfect.
Nor should they be complete sensitivity. I believe in owning it, but that's who I am. Not everyone is like that.
Yeah,
right?
No,
I just from a perspective of being very blunt people.
I just think that the expectation that because you are offended, things need to change in the sense of like, well, that person can no longer do their job because I'm offended by something they said.
I'd say the one caveat to that is unfortunately entertainment. People in entertainment, people want to buy what they want to buy, and if they don't want to buy you because of stances you have, that'd probably be the one time.
Sure,
that's acceptable.
But then don't be a patron of what they do. Right? Calling for their dismissal is what I disagree with. Trying to get someone fired because they have different ideas than you, that's what I disagree with. Like, no, I'm all for it. I 100% believe, like if you don't like a dude, don't go see his movies. Don't buy his CDs. Don't listen to his shit. Like, for me, like I said, I don't really like Kevin Hart. I don't find him to be that funny. I find him to be kind of jarring. He's kind of doing a modern version of the Martin Lawrence, and I've already seen that. And I like Martin Lawrence, right? So the issue is I don't go watch his movies. I don't listen to his comedy. I don't watch his comedy specials because I don't enjoy his work. Now, do I disagree with him on a personal level? Fuck, I don't know him on a personal level. I don't know. My point was that, like,
you guys don't hang out?
No, we don't hang out on the weekends, man. He came over the one time, but he saw that Biebs was here and he was like, nah, I'm not into that.
I'm out.
Yeah. Anyways, so all right, I just brought it up because I thought it was so ridiculous. It was ridiculous enough for a 5D opening. And before we move on, my Switch is upstairs dead right now because I have been playing the dick out of this game.
You can put the advertisement. You can put the screenshot for it back up. I shouldn't say.
Okay, here we go. Where's it? I don't see it. There it is. I actually did labels now. Yeah, I know. You know how you can fuck with the elements of a webpage? I've been doing that, so the top says. And Dead Cells, man. I am so late to the fucking party on this one.
You are. I played like a couple levels of it with a buddy.
Like ages late. And the reason that it blew me out of the water, not just blew me, that'd be I would pay so much more money, is because this is a type of game I normally wouldn't like. It is a roguelike.
Which you are not. Everything we've had you play, you're pretty adamantly against.
Yeah, definitely. Like the closest one that I ever got to enjoying was FTL. And there's other one called I think it's called Everspace. But Everspace.
Pops, you a roguelike fan?
Yeah, I like roguelikes. I played Delver is one of my favorite ones I've played. You play a dude going into a dungeon, and you try to get to the end of the dungeon, and you find different weapons and power ups and magic items that you can use.
This was the group one, right? I think you reviewed it on here.
I think I did. It was by Revolver.
Yeah. So anyways, the reason I like Dead Cells is because it's a lot like Everspace, and I wanna obviously put that out there because Everspace is a great game. I know Devin will never play it because it is in fact space shooty game. He does not like space sims. But what I like is that you get killed and you kind of have to start over with that round of power-ups, but a lot of the permanent power-ups that you've earned you get to keep. And I thought that was cool because
so it's like a complete roguelike. It's like a soft roguelike.
Exactly. And I like that because it doesn't. My biggest issue with rogues is that I always feel like I wasted all this time and I've got nothing to fucking show for it. For me, it's not the accomplishment of just beating it. I wanna by the end, I wanna be a fucking god and just be able to mosh on things, you know?
You wanna be a golden god,
right? But anyways, I like Dead Cells. So far, I've gotten through first 2 stages, I think, and I like it. I like the power-ups are great. You get a melee or a range, and you can actually switch them out all over the place. And every time you start again, the levels are slightly different. So it's not the same fucking thing, and that's amazing. Because, again, nobody wants to do the same goddamn level over and over
again. For Dark Souls fans.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not so much you're doing the same level over again. It is pattern recognition, that's for sure.
Sure. And I mean, I have puzzle games for that. I don't want that out of my fast action pace games. I always feel that it actually breaks the action, and if I have to sit there and consider a puzzle for too long. The only exception is some of the MMOs where like Destiny, where some of the pattern recognition is added with a bunch of action that just makes it all even more challenging. I think that's cool.
Well, it's not so much puzzle in Dark Souls. And I'll never forget the first time playing a mage to the first one and having to beat the stray demon inside of one of the dungeons, which you can only do by yourself. You can't do with a party. And I was a mage that was also a glass cannon, so I couldn't even take a hit. I tried it maybe like 50 times before I finally got it. But it was super rewarding afterwards. It was like, I did it, and now I am God! And I just went around just beaming everything.
That's funny. But anyways, so Dead Cells, I haven't had a fun experience like this since playing like Metroid or actually Castlevania. Like I've been really missing Castlevania and Metroid. So I actually got on this kick where there's a couple of YouTube channels that just do nothing but lore. And I've missed a bunch of the games in between, so I just spent 2 hours once just listening to the entire lore of Castlevania. And I would love to give them a reference, but I don't remember the name of the channel. It was just something random showed up on my feed. And I'm like, man, I really want to play Castlevania. And I went back and, what is it, Symphony of the Night? Is that the one with the 2 castles?
Yeah.
I was like, I was digging through. I was like, I know I have a copy of it. It's on my PS2. And that thing's put away somewhere, so I gotta find it. But with Dead Cells, it really is scratching that itch, you know. And I didn't even need any cream. Joke. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying the shit out of it. If I would give it probably 4 corpse piles out of 5. The controls are a little bit clunky at certain times. And the dodge move is really harping on me, but that could just be me sucking at the beginning. Yeah, but I'm enjoying the dick out of it.
Yeah, I played like a level or two. I was hanging out with a buddy, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta try this." So I played a couple random levels, but from what I played, it was really fun.
Yeah, and I know it got super famous because of the controversy, but fuck that thing. The game just stands on its own.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really fun. And I think it worked really well on the Switch. I think it was originally PC, right?
Yeah, I've seen it around. I just haven't picked it up yet.
Dude.
Yeah, but it plays on the Switch great. The Switch is great for games like that.
Dude, I am blown away with how good the Switch is. I had such little hopes after the Wii U. I had such little hopes for this. And like even the Wii, like it was great as a party game, but
now seeing the Switch, it feels like the Wii U was more of a stepping stone. Kind of this like half proof of concept.
Yeah,
before they really nailed it down, you know?
I feel like the Wii U could have been done as a handheld where they could, hey, as an added bonus, you can also do X. I don't think it needed the whole two things. I think having the console and the thing was where it got weird, but
I will say it's probably my least used console next to the Ouya.
Oh, but that's because there's no games for it. Same with the game stick, to be fair.
Yep.
Yeah. But all right, so that's kind of what I played. Other than that, I was just dicking around. What'd you end up doing this weekend, Klops?
I've been playing a lot of not Rainbow Six. I've been playing Rainbow Six as well because I naturally play that as well. But I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, Black Ops.
Blops.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Specifically Blackout and like Zombies. I haven't even touched the actual regular multiplayer in it. And that's because I have other people to play with. And that's the reason I got it, is because I had people to play with. So it's definitely not one that I play on my own.
What's the difference between... I mean, what are those gameplays? Zombies, I obviously know. It's horde mode, right?
So Blackout is their version of a battle royale game. It's 100 people drop into the map, and then you try to be the last team or last one standing, depending on what playlist you went into.
I was like, that just called, was it Team Kill or whatever?
No, this is like PUBG-ish. It's literally just AAA PUBG.
Right.
And I gotta say, not bad. It's honestly really good. It's about as well as I expected it to be. The parachute system is awesome. It's one of the best things. First of all, it's not just one fucking plane going over the map. It's an entourage of helicopters, which looks pretty damn cool when you actually get into it. You also start off with a wingsuit instead of just straight up parachuting or diving in. So actually, we've actually parachuted, or I guess wingsuited, from one side of the map to the other and actually gotten to drops if you do it right. So the parachuting system is a little bit better than previous kind of battle royale games. However, it has that Call of Duty issue of I can shoot a dude with a half a clip and he can headshot me. And sometimes I hit him in the head and it kills him, and sometimes I don't. It's been a finicky system. However, this one is all about movement. You can't sit still in it, like whatsoever. Whether you're looting, whether you're climbing around, whether you're shooting a dude, you always want to be moving. And I've only had really one solid match where I got in the top 5 as a duo with another person. And we just happened to drop in a place that happened to be where the ring was and happened to be where the ring ended. And we also happened to get the right gear. The other cool part about it is that attachments are kind of universal. Not every gun can have every attachment, but a good amount of them can have the same amount of attachments. So if you find something like you like better, you can just strip all the mods off your current gun and throw it onto the next one. The one that I did really well, and I ended up with a Paladin, which is a 50 cal sniper rifle, and I had it fully decked out, as well as I think it's like some kind of 7.62 assault rifle is my backup. And I just pretty much sniped the... it's not an AK exactly. It's like an IC-7, and it's not even AK based. It more looks like an AR. Because it's all future tech. It's all supposed to be kind of like futuristic, modern technology because it's Black Ops and set in the future. And so I ended up with a Paladin and sniped a bunch of dudes, and that was like my best match because I happened to get a fucking Paladin and was able to just snipe people and didn't have to really go anywhere because we were already in the circle a lot. I will say it is really cool to see kind of like all the different kind of older levels that they had in all the previous Blackouts inside of this like Blackout map. Like there's a Ray, which I played on in Black Ops 1 way back when it first came out, and it's there, and it's the same map except for it's, you know, in a different kind of setting. It's outside and you can run outside of it instead of just being in this map. So that's a lot of fun. There's firing range, there's all the like ones that people that play Black Ops, even if it's just the first one, will recognize scenery in it. Now, what I think is ridiculous isn't that there's no single player mission. I can give a fuck about that because we all know how COD does single player. It's
not very well.
The unlock. So like you start off with 4 people you can pick from for each different gender. Not to, I guess, offend anybody that's like gender fluid or whatever, but they have male and female gender here. And they only have 4 people you can pick from, and basically the difference is the skin color. And there's no customizable like things for them. Like you can't look different. You just look like generic white dude A or generic black dude B. All the cosmetics go for all the unlockable characters that you can do, which you have to do ridiculous fucking things to do.
One of them want you to pay for it.
No, actually, even if you pay for the cosmetics, which you can't really pay for, you can only pay for like boxes that up your.
But can you pay for the other characters?
No, the only character you can pay for is the one you get with the season pass. That's it. That's the only one you can get. All the other ones you have to unlock in game by doing certain missions or reaching a certain level. Like there's guys that if you get like 40th level or 80th level, you'll unlock. But otherwise, you have to do shit like find a t-shirt in a fucking drop box, which a helicopter has to drop. It's a white t-shirt. Then you have to place, depending on what your playlist you're setting on, your solo, duos, or quads, either top 5 for solo, top 3 for duos, and first place for quads in order to unlock this character. Or you have to go to places like the shooting range, find a pistol, shoot a target, grab Annihilator, which is this revolver that somebody uses in the series, kill a person with it, and then place in the top 5 depending on your playlist again. Like, they're ridiculous challenges. Okay? I have yet to unlock another character. I've come close to a couple of them, but I just never seem to get it. I unlocked my buddy one because he happened to find, his name is Torque, and the only requirements of his is drop a barricade with 2 razor wire and place in the top 15. And we barely did it because he went down, and I just ran away like a bitch until there was enough people dead that we got 15th place. So it's kind of ridiculous. I can't say that it will be gratifying once I do it. It's kind of a frustrating road, but at the same time, it's more, I'm like, man, if I get him, I get him. If I don't, I fucking don't. I just have all these epic gears sitting in my fucking inventory that I can't use, which seems kind of pointless. I wish they would let me customize my base little character a little bit or add cosmetics for him. So
this is an open beta or anything, right? Like this
is a fully released game. As a matter of fact, I think today they just dropped DLC for it.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a new map and patch fixes and some other things. And I don't know if the map is free or if it comes with a like season pass or what. Like I haven't even really found that out because all the information is congealed together, and I don't know if it's one of the free things that we get to enjoy or if I have to have a season pass to get on the new map. Which I'm highly debating about, really, if I want to get it or not. I mean, I have friends that play it relatively enough that I might, but it's going to be one of those I'm going to wait for a while first.
Are they going to keep playing it? That's what I've learned is the big question.
That's the reason I'm waiting. I got plenty of other things to keep my interest until that point. And zombies. I've only played one zombies map because whoever I play with just plays the one for right now. But I've gotten pretty good at it, and it's actually pretty entertaining. Like
zombies isn't just its own standalone game by now?
It pretty much is. As a matter of fact, the day after I got my copy, they came out with the Battle Edition, which removes the zombies and keeps the Battle Royale and the multiplayer.
No, I just want to buy the zombie version. It's the only thing I give a shit
about. It might. It's just going to be $30.
I might be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would too, but I like them together. I like playing Blackout and I like playing the zombies. I think
have no interest in Battle Royale, but I'll play zombies all day.
And zombies is fun. I think our best so far is with me actually doing stuff instead of just dying. Is like 20 so far. as a duo, just two of us running around. And there's lots of abilities and upgrades and stuff that you can change out. You can actually customize your own class, which it's not a new thing. You could do that in the last one. I know that for sure. But it seems a little bit more rounded out in this one.
I haven't played a Call of Duty game in years. I just stopped.
I wish I could tell you more of a story with what's happening with zombies, but all I know is that we're in gladiatorial times and we're shooting zombies inside of a gladiatorial ring.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit above average. I don't think it's quite a 7 out of 10 blackouts, but I think it's definitely like a 6.5 in blackouts. It's one to play with friends. It's not perfect. It hopefully improves a lot of things, which I think they're going to do. I know they're going to nerf some things like the Spitfire, which is a SMG that's ridiculous. But I think it's going to be a really solid like battle royale for a while. It's definitely worth picking up.
If you just battle royale,
if you like battle royale, especially the $30 one, it's not a big price jump for just that.
I can honestly say I don't enjoy battle royale, but that's okay. I mean, I enjoyed Lone Wolf on like Halo, but generally speaking, I don't like battle royale.
But out of the three of us, I'm really more the competitive gamer. You guys are more single player storyline and stuff like that.
I can be competitive. There was a point in my life where I had the time to sit and get really good at a game, but now there's so many games and like it really has exploded the stuff that I'm into, especially the indie stuff. I just don't have time to focus on the one game. The closest I have is Destiny 2, and that's even that like I can't say I am dedicated to it.
Yeah, but I mean, I just play more, like, I play Siege regularly, and then I'm playing Blackout, and the only real single-player one that I'm doing right now is Ancestors Legacy, which I'm enjoying the shit out of. I've gotten through one campaign already. I'm going through another one now.
Yeah, I remember you were reviewing that. So if you had to give Black Ops 4 a score, where does it rank?
6.5 Blackouts out of 10.
He said that. That was the thing he said.
Oh, did he?
We've been here. We've been here.
Oh, where was I? I know where I was.
Space.
No, I know where I was. So, actually, this is something that I'm going to bring up, and I don't have a graphic, but I don't fucking care. So, I've been playing this thing called Ghostbusters World.
Oh, God.
No. You're going to love this. And 3 days ago...
Is it like the Pokemon Go, but with Ghostbusters?
It is Pokemon Go with Ghostbusters, except...
I had no idea what that was. I just guessed it from the name Ghostbusters World.
Except they improved upon the original model. Here's the thing. 3 days ago, this would have gotten a screaming review. Now, no. Kind of hate it. So...
That quick?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me set this up. You don't just go out there and hunt for ghosts. You do go out there and you catch them and you build your collection. However, in this one, there's actually story mode and a couple of challenge modes where once you get a ghost, you can basically, it's like dogfighting but with ghosts. You can turn around and pit them against each other, and you can fight other people, and it's a thing. They have both arena stuff where you can fight it, and it is turn-based, so it's very reminiscent of Pokemon. But they also have, like, area bosses and stuff that you can get together with a couple people. The best part, they also have lone bosses that you can just do yourself. Where if you've leveled, you have to level your gear on this one. You have to. There is these ecto balls that you don't have to walk to open. It's just over time, and of course, it's a free to play game. It is predatory as shit. But the best part is it has the base game. It's got the AR game and then the AR plus. So the AR version, the simple one, is just normal backdrop, like if you turn off AR in Pokemon Go. But normal AR is the ghost shows up and you catch it. However, the mechanic is you have to attack it with the proton gun, And
so it's Pokemon, but you get to shoot it first.
No. You get to shoot it, but it attacks you, so you have to. You also have to counter it.
I mean, that's what happens when you shoot things. Is typically they get pissed.
Yeah, well, but you also have a life bar at the bottom, and this one the ghost doesn't just run away. You can get attacked enough and not do the counters properly, to where it just beats you and you go unconscious or whatever. But so you have to get their health dip below a thing, then you throw a trap, and then you have to use the proton gun to actually trap them and hold them on top of the trap for for long enough for them to be captured. And then depending on RNG, or RNGs as most gamers like to call it, it may or may not stay in the trap, and there's different types of traps. Another cool thing though is when you're trapping it, if you pull it up, there's a slam move you can do, and that dazes it and it's easier to catch. Or if you aim it properly, you slam it straight into the trap and it just goes in right away. So it's got more, like it's an actual fight. It's a little bit more involved, and that's just the AR simple. The AR plus version, like the ghost moves all around you, like it is trying to get away. So trust me, I've done it. You sit there like a jackass spinning around and trying to catch this thing, and it attacks and you have to counter. It gets pretty involved, and I was having a blast. I was having a good time. There were different Pokemons. Another really cool thing about this one, a lot of ghost Pokemon. No, there were a lot of ghosts around. The cool part about this is you can actually, they have their version of a Pokestop. There's a dimensional gate. There's a portable one, and you can just set it up wherever you want. So I set it up in my house. And instead of the 10-minute cooldowns, it's 20-minute cooldowns to get more items and stuff, which, I mean, makes sense, right? You have your own personal fucking dimensional gate. So I was having a blast. I was having a good time. And then I booted it up, one of the times. And the way that it works is, you load the game, it gives you who makes it, and then the next is the title screen. And from the title screen, it says press here. So now every time I press here, it loads and then crashes.
Aww.
It doesn't even fucking open anymore. I've tried a number of things short of just wiping the thing and going through fire, which I'm probably going to do next. So I was going to give this review 4 full Slimers out of 5. It was going to be a really good review because there's a couple little predatory things that most free-to-play app games have that this one as well. However, right now, you get like an emaciated Slimer at best. At best. Like he hasn't eaten in thousands of years because he's a fucking ghost. But still. I've submitted a ticket to their support people, but I've been reading Reddit and everything, and apparently it takes goddamn forever to hear back. So I am not holding my breath.
You should hold your breath.
No, speaking of Ghostbusters, though, I just showed Marley Ghostbusters for the first time.
The movie?
I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea that she hadn't seen it. And the best part that she took away was that guy was a creep. Why did he put the girl? And she's right.
Oh yeah. That's another one of those movies, dude. If you go back, you go, Venkman's kind of rapey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was.
Can I surprise nobody? I don't like Ghostbusters.
No.
Is that because your brother watched it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
He also doesn't like Back to the Future or anything that you think fondly of in your childhood.
Indiana Jones, big pile of shit.
Yeah. See, just generally.
I love Indiana Jones.
I like.
I've been wanting to go back and rewatch them. Actually,
I've done it. I bought the entire the collection, so I do. I go back.
I've been wondering if enough time has passed that maybe I can at least enjoy Temple of Doom or something again.
My favorite is Raiders, honestly.
I mean, they're all pretty good. I think Temple of Doom was the one I watched the most as a kid, though. Because it had short round.
Yeah.
Least favorite of the original trilogy.
There's a kid here. I'm a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's exactly what it was.
Least favorite of the original trilogy, though, is Last Crusade. I was not a fan.
Is that the one with Sean Connery?
But it was so good.
Yes.
The part that I remember the most from that one is like the tank battle, like where he's like fist fighting on top of this like tiger tank.
No, that was Are you sure you're not talking about the fist fight in Raiders where he's on top of an airplane? That's
no.
off?
I'm talking about the tank one because the tank goes over the cliff, and his dad and whoever else was were like, Junior, and they're like looking out the edge. They're like, I can't believe he's gone. He like crawls up the side of the like cliff. And he's like looking over with them. Like,
yeah, and he's like, "What are you looking at?" Yeah.
What are you guys looking at? And they're like, they're alive.
Was that Crusade?
Yeah, that was Crusade because that was the only one that Sean Connery was in.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember if he was only in one.
The plane battle was cool too. I mean, that was another good one.
Yeah, I just like how he
plane.
punches the big dude a lot, and the big guy just goes.
So who else loved Crystal Skull? I'm kidding. I've never even fucking seen it. I didn't bother.
I didn't hate it, but it was nowhere near the best. It's worse than Crusade, I think.
It was good up until the point of Aliens, and then I was like, what is this, the History Channel?
To be fair, though, like, you hit aliens really early on in that movie.
I know. I'm just saying that it was cool fighting the commies and shit and like being kind of reminiscent. I think, well, I mean, I guess the freezer scene with the nuke was like,
but that was afterwards.
That was like the beginning.
Yeah, but it was after you realized that there's a fucking alien body in this warehouse that they're going to try and find.
This is our podcast, Pico.
You tell him.
Yeah, you tell that doggo. All right, so anyways, did you play anything this weekend, Bonsai?
Yeah, So my buddy was ever too kind. It's actually the second time this has happened. I keep finding people like, yeah, I really want to get this new console, but I have this old console. And either like I don't let my kids have more than one, or I'm upgrading or whatever. But I have friends who want to get rid of their console. Like, I guess I'm going to sell it to GameStop, and my usual offer is I will give you whatever GameStop will give you for it. And most of the time, just to spite GameStop, my friends will be like, yeah, I'll do that. So I got my buddy's Xbox One off of him. Got $100. It's a great deal. So I got it's an original, which a couple people were like, and I'm like, fuck you, it works fine.
Well, but it's an original Xbox One. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and it was $100. Like that's the price I want to pay for an Xbox One, because that thing has like 4 titles that I'm actually interested in. So, but what I did pick up, I got a great price on this too. $5. I got Sunset Overdrive.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I'm playing it right now. And honestly,
how is it?
This is gonna sound meaner than I want it to, but $5 is like a great that's like a perfect price for this game. So keep in mind this was a launch title on the Xbox, so it's already a little dated, and a few things have done elements of it better than it has. But I really like the world. I really like the soundtrack. The gameplay is a little too all over the place. Like, you're really having to hard manage constant movement and attack at all times, even just traversing through the city. So unlike something like Spider-Man, so just something more recent that I played, Spider-Man, like, oh, if I have to go across the city, you know what? I might drop down and do some crime missions or just razz up some bad guys and get a couple whatever points of XP or something. I'll keep myself entertained as I travel. Sunset Overdrive, if you're walking on the ground, you're fucked. You're easier to shoot with guns. You're easier to get swarmed by bad guys. It almost seems like you take more damage from just being on the ground. Like, you need to be grinding, bouncing, wall running. You need to constantly not be on the ground and constantly be moving. You can't really stand still. It kind of is, and it's to the point where if I'm traveling across the map, I'm not fucking with anything while I'm going. Like, even if you're in front of me, I'm just going to go around you, because it's easier just to find a path to grind around you and do whatever to just get the fuck away from it. And once you get into combat, most of the time I'm trying to find the longest circuit of grinds that don't make me do anything, and then just moving in a circle and picking things off like I'm on a rail shooter or something. It's honestly the easiest way to handle fights like that. I like the game. I really sound like I'm trashing the game, and I don't want to. It's the kind of game that I enjoy, and again, I love the aesthetic. I love the style. The story is great, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. The humor's on point. The weapons are interesting, and a couple of them got really stupid laughs out of me. It's fun. It's a fun game. It's just very involved, and for me personally, it's not the kind of game that I have any interest in doing 100% complete. I'm going to beat the storyline. I'll probably enjoy that. and then I probably would never pop this game in again. Like, I want to beat it. I want to take it in. I actually kind of hope it gets a sequel that can improve on some of these ideas, or maybe even just something set in this same kind of world, or something very this adjacent. I don't know. But I like what they're doing. I don't like how they're doing it as much. And it's not a total crippler. It's doable. Like, I'm playing through the game, and I'm not super frustrated. It's just very involved. It's a lot of like hard focus paying attention to get shit done, or you're really just gonna find yourself screwing up and dying. One of the nice things though is it's a very forgiving game. I've died a bunch of times, and it mostly just drops you off where you left off and just goes like, yeah, pick up where you left off, fuck it.
Yeah.
So there's like no continues, there's no like tons of loss of money. You can just kind of die, and the game goes, yeah, we get it, you're gonna do that a lot. So that's nice. You know, it's just, I don't know what I was expecting.
So yeah, I played a little bit of it when it launched because my buddy, all my, like, I had a friend circle at one point. They were all like Xbox people, and I was like the only PlayStation. So I played a little bit of it, and it really reminded me of Jet Set Radio Future. And I was like, I'm done.
It was my exact thought was, this is Jet Set Radio Combat.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good. That's been too much time. I have those songs just grilled in my fucking head.
I'm so glad somebody else was just like, yeah, this is just Jet Set Radio with shooting, though. Because, I mean, yeah, really, if you're like, fuck, Jet Set's my jam, you might actually get a kick out of the added effect of having to do some, like, serious shooting combat. Like, luckily, like, the aim is very forgiving, and there's just some weapons that in a combat like this, that's the kind of weapon I would want if I was on the ground held up in a corner, which this game punishes you for. And I'm like, why did you give me that weapon? Just...
I just remember playing it and just remember going, baby, what's your baby tea? And I was like, God, this is enough for me. Like, flashbacks. Just, no, I'm going to just get off of this. Oh, I'm done. Because the thing with Jet Set Radio Future, if you don't remember it fondly, let me ruin that for you. They played the same track during the level the whole time. And so it was just...
Wow.
One of the fun, so like my wife was cooking all weekend, but like, you know, she's in the kitchen right on the other side of the living room, and the whole time she just keeps yelling back, "This game has a great soundtrack. I like this." So the music, like, if you like punk, it's
I was gonna say it's very punk oriented, right?
But for me, I'm like, this is great. I can just fucking sit here and listen to this all day. I'm really liking the aesthetic, and I do like the game. And honestly, $5 is a steal. You're going to get enjoyment out of this game. And, you know, name something else you can spend $5 on and get 4+ hours of enjoyment out of. And, you know, I'm only 4 hours in. There's still a bunch more games.
$1 hookers.
Okay. I'm not saying there's nothing. I'm just saying there's not a lot of things.
How much is that in pesos? Because I'm sure that's where you get them.
It depends on the exchange rate, but 50?
Sunset Overdrive. Fun enough game. Solid 3.5 to 4 guns with testicles on them and making a joke about that.
Huh. Okay. Ballsy.
Right? If I can, just really quick. So the other game I bought, I'll review eventually. I bought Ori and the Blind Forest for it, but I haven't played it yet. But I'm really looking forward to it. Very like Metroidvania, cutesy kind of game. It's supposed to be really fun. But if I can, really quick, now that I have all 3 of the modern consoles, I got my PS4, I got my Xbox, I got my Switch, I got my PC. Can we just discuss really quickly how bad the fucking Xbox home interface is?
Oh, that's terrible.
It's actually gotten worse.
It's so bad.
It's gotten worse. It used to be much better, and now they're trying to do this weird app tile thing to match. Like,
they were always doing that, though. I remember that.
No. Yeah, but it used to be a lot more useful.
My issue right now is 4 out of the 5 app tiles are advertisements for things you can go buy in the store.
That's the problem.
4 out of 5
That's what I
of
was
them.
going to say.
Like, seriously. I have one screen that is useful, and even that screen, not all of the tiles on it are useful. I find myself honestly writing the left-hand pop-out menu, which is the actual system menu.
That's the only reason. That's the only thing you ever need to look at, dude. It is
and
garbage
I pretty much just leave myself on that left menu all the time.
Yeah, no, the interface is the fucking worst.
Oh, it's so bad, and I realize I'm getting onto the Xbox train super late in the Xbox One life. That thing's been out for 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, and it didn't used to be that way.
Oh, it's so bad.
So it actually reminds me kind of how Hulu has ruined their interface too.
And you know what's funny? Like... I watch Hulu on different devices depending on which room I'm in, and it's a different interface on each one. Mm-hmm. Some are better than others.
Yeah, no, it's true. So the Hulu interface, especially on Xbox, like they changed it, and then all of a sudden Xbox changed to match it. I was like, this is hot garbage. Like, none of this is great. Yeah, it is. It is terrible.
It took me a solid, like, I would say a solid 5 minutes just to get my bearings and start going, like, this is where I need to go for things. Like the Switch is just plain straightforward. The PlayStation is fairly straightforward. Steam, there's been a couple things where I'm always like, where the fuck is that button in Steam? But it's,
they like to hide it in weird places in Steam. Yeah.
But none of them just choke you with ads as bad as this one is. Everything everything at least has an advertisement on it. No page on that Xbox interface is not trying to sell you something.
They tried, and I guess they're still trying very hard to do the you only need this one console for everything. This will be your Blu-ray player. This will be where you rent movies. This will be where you watch shows. Like,
not while I have to pay for internet just to get half of the interfaces to work.
And no, that was just it. Like the real issue is it doesn't do any of them really well. It's just okay. Like,
well, and hiding my service that I'm already paying for behind a paywall is unexcusable. That is honestly absolutely 100% my nail in the coffin with ever paying Xbox for any online service. It's just like me and Apple now. After you break a thing and then you have the audacity to charge people to pay for that thing that you broke and admitted that you broke on purpose, you don't get to have my money anymore. You don't get to do that. Done.
Yeah.
Xbox literally took a service, 2 services technically, that I already pay for, and then told me that I need to pay an extra fee to use services that I'm already paying for on their device that I also already paid for.
See, once upon a time, this made sense. But then they did the Fire Stick, and then they did, smart TVs, and then they did all this other shit that has all this stuff for free. It makes no fucking sense for them to still be charging you to be able to do Netflix and Hulu on.
Right. Charge me for your game service. That's fine. You want to charge me for any amount of online play? Agreed. Honestly, I could even see a small fee for updates. I honestly cannot fault you for charging people for continuous coding and product development that you have to do.
As long as they're not mandatory.
Right. As long as you let me run without them, I understand your idea behind it.
Yeah.
I do not understand why Netflix, Hulu, or any other, Pandora, any streaming app that I want to put on my Xbox, which I bought and I paid for and I quote-unquote own, but I need to pay to unlock the ability to use my goods and services. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Agreed. I'm kind of against you guys on both that. I'd rather pay $150 for a game and not have to pay for online service than to pay a continuous fee on online.
I'm not saying that what you're saying is not the better option. I agree. I would rather pay a higher premium per game to get continued service throughout the life of that game.
Yeah, like it used to be.
But at least I can actually see and understand the justification for charging it the other way. I think it's dickish and I think it's uncalled for, but at least it makes sense. Charging for Xbox Live, you're literally charging me for a pass-through. Your console already does these things and has the capability. You're charging me to unlock something that is already on my device that I've already paid you for. It's not even like you gave it to me for free and then said, pay me money for these extra things on it. You charged me to own it. Now you're charging me to use parts of it?
Yeah, it's
that's why my Switch hasn't I haven't really got maximum out of my Switch because I got Dark Souls for it, and the day that I got it, I was like, yes, I'm gonna go fuck over Lobies for the first time in Dark Souls because I'm gonna be that dick over here because I can, because I'm a terrible person. And I booted it up, and it was like, oh yeah, Nintendo just put in their service. Yeah, pay $20 a year, and I'm like, nope. Tossed my fucking Switch aside and was like, I'm gonna go play PC.
Yeah.
Even $20 for the year, I'm just
but see, that's different. Again, I'm willing to pay for the game server thing. Like,
I don't think it's right. I think it's dickish, but at least I understand the justification.
I already bought your system. I already paid for your game. You asked me $40 for your game.
But to be fair, though, like
for that continued life,
buying a system one time doesn't pay for server upkeep. That's the thing, right?
I have Escape from Tarkov. I bought it for $150. They continue to run more servers because more people are playing that game because it's a game.
Sure, but it's not sustainable. Eventually, every game server of those independent games, they're all gonna have to go down,
except for unless
there's continuous flux of income, right?
So
right. So then, after you get to that point, microtransaction in for cosmetics and cosmetics only,
or scrap that game and release a sequel, or do something else. If the game server has to shut down, I'm not at all going to be bitter. I get it. The game ran its life course. No game can run forever. It's not possible.
Well, but as long as I'll agree with that statement, as long as you can still play the game without having to connect to the game server.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Like if I've bought something, like the reason I don't mind so much right now, at least for like Diablo, is because I can still play fucking Diablo without going online and fucking around with other people. I don't need that. I can just play the fucking game. So, yeah, have I given them $20?
To be fair, for the price of Diablo, they do still push updates to it. I don't have to pay them to keep the game functioning.
Yeah, and again, like $20 a year is I feel like it's fine. Now, if it was $20 a month, I'm like, get the fuck out. I'm not paying that for.
I'm not saying that $20 a year is a bad price. I just believe that me paying that price at all is just going to further that system, and it's not going to bring about any.
You also get, but it's not just that. For $20 a year, you also get some of their classic games that you can just play on your.
That I can just ROM.
Well.
Yeah,
sure, you can ROM if you want. I mean, but you can fucking if you wanna pirate anything, you can just fucking pirate that anyway. So that's not. I don't know.
I just think that Nintendo ROMing out themselves and me ROMing them is no different than anything else.
The bigger question to me
is
different. With how easy it is to you know how long it would take to upload all of those games. Like really, it's not an overly difficult process to get those to work. I'm not saying like, oh, you just click a button and it goes. I get that there's some work behind making it work on a modern console and play right, but it's not the hardest project anybody at that company is ever going to work for. And there's really only it's 800 officially licensed Nintendo games. Why the fuck aren't all those up on the Play Store yet?
I agree.
Like seriously, there's no reason that at least most of them should be up on the Play Store. It's baffling how few there are.
I've always been of the mind that if you don't make something easily available, then people are gonna pirate it.
Right.
But in this case, they have made stuff easily available. For you to say like, fuck it, so I'm just gonna ROM it. I'm like, well then you're not actually talking a fucking the same conversation. You weren't gonna fucking pay for it anyways, so your point isn't really valid in that case. Right?
I bought Chameleon like 4 times already from Nintendo. I don't think I should buy it again on my Switch after buying it on the Wii.
No, actually, like I said, the classics are thrown in with the $20 a year.
With the $20, but yet again, I have to pay for them again, and I'm sure that if I stop paying that $20, I will no longer be able to play those classics. Just like I can't play.
But you're not paying for the classics. It's an added bonus of having it, right? Like it's not. You're not buying the games themselves. You're paying for the online service. Again, you are more than happy to disagree and not want to pay for it, and I support that. You don't believe in this, don't give them money. That brings us right back to the beginning. Speaking of right back to the beginning, we are nearing the end of our show and we still haven't talked about FML.
I got fucked.
I'm in second place, I think.
Huh?
Was I in second place? I don't know where I'm at anymore.
Okay, so we actually have 2 leagues running.
And you can see in there that I played New Movies on time. It counted me at $0.
Yeah, so
and something's fucked up because even if it rolls your stuff over, it'll still count you for what's there.
So here is
$0.
Here is the normal league, the one we thought wasn't coming back. Bonsai actually won that one. He won it by $512,000. Klops, you lost it by a lot.
Did I haven't even looked.
By 33 million.
I was like in second place
Yeah.
for a minute, and then like I noticed all the movies were like all the movies I'd already picked like the previous week that were winning for some reason, and then my new movie is just I don't know. I haven't kept track honestly.
So
Yeah.
let me just show it on camera though. I'm gonna lock it in now. There's my MGN year lineup. It's blurry, but that's what I'm telling you. That's what it is. There's my MGN year, the new league.
But right now we're talking about just the normal MGN league.
Oh,
so
I'm saying it because you guys are seeing me lock it in on time, and so if I get $0 again, something is fucked up.
So here is the MGN year league, and I won this one, but for some reason, here's Bonsai. He set all his stuff up, and it gave him $0. No idea why. This is super weird. FML, get your shit together.
And you can see I played a lot of the same stuff other people played.
Yeah.
So
Bob's, however, just lost this week. The only reason you got second here was because they dicked Bonsai.
Okay. Well, I mean, I tried to stretch. So, like, I've noticed that on FML, it's always like 2 movies and a lot of one movie. So I tried that on a movie I had no premise of and just hadn't played before because it was new and it just didn't work.
Well, I did the same thing with Vox Lux. I didn't even know what it was about, but it seemed artsy, and I figured people were going to go watch it. But, all right. That brings us to the end of our episode here. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on Tuesdays at twitch.tv/Metagame Network. And actually, I'm a fucking liar. No, we're not. We're not on Twitch on Tuesdays anymore. We're only on YouTube. Check us out at In5D on YouTube for our RP, World of Darkness game. Also, check out our website at 5dpodcast.com, and you can pick up our episodes on iTunes and on Podbean. Klops, final words.
When did we move to just YouTube?
Only for the Carpenter game.
The World of Darkness game?
Yeah.
No, I know. It's just my final words.
Oh. Fair enough. Bonsai.
FML, please love me again. Baby, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's cold outside.
I could nice.
Run around.
And now we're gonna have to go apologize on Twitter. Bye.
See ya.